Working 18-hour days, I slipped and I fell. Winter's up and hit me, I had to change well. There's no way to sustain it, you'll crash and burn. Will not be able to work and no way to earn. Change well, and then you can leave. Change well, and your kids you can feed. Turn your life around for the final bell. It's now or never, you have to change well. It's now or never, you must change well.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Change Well, the weekly 15-minute podcast that provides tips and tricks on changing to wellness. The last 2-week podcasts were about the origin story of Change Well, and it provided a summary of how I went from unwell to well. This week, we look at what it looks like after you take the first few steps. So let's jump in. First week and every week, I started my every week Saturday practice, which I still do today. Every Saturday, I get up about 5 a.m., I exercise in the gym, and followed by a weigh-in and a meeting with Weight Watchers. By the way, let me give a shout out to Weight Watchers, especially my Round Rock group. Now, when I go to this gym, I'm usually half groggy as I climb the stairs up to the gym. But this day, I was a little bit more spry in my mind, and I noticed what was on the steps. And it said, every journey starts with the first step, on the step of the gym. And those words reminded me of my first tentative steps beginning my wellness journey. As we said before, 8 years ago, I was about 150 pounds heavier than I am now. But now I'm much happier and healthier. But when I first started, it felt a little bit like Bilbo and Frodo at the start of The Lord of the Rings when they left the Shire. Now, I'm sorry if you didn't see the movies or read the book, but I'm a Tolkien fanatic, so I'm going to read you what that poem was. The road goes ever on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say. J.R.R. Tolkien. Indeed, the first few steps of any journey is scary. A wellness journey is very scary to start off with, especially when you haven't been well in many years. So what do you do on these first few steps? The first one we hit on last week, but I want to emphasize it again. Get a checkup. You can't exercise unless you get a checkup, right? We do not drive our car on vacation without taking it to the gas station, checking the oil, making sure the tires are pumped up right. We just don't do it, right? So before you start on your wellness journey, go to the doctor. And more importantly, I know sometimes it's costly just like the auto guy is, right? Do what the doctor says, okay? If he tells you wait a little bit, wait a little bit. If you need to do something, do it first. Then get ready for your wellness journey. When I first went there, I talked about this last week. My initial checkup was fine, but I kept after it. And the doctor finally, they got the right diagnosis, and they helped me with the medication that I needed, or I would never have been able to exercise. The second thing is play body, may I. I don't know if kids know about this anymore. Some of us older adults know about it. There used to be a game called Mother May I. That was before video games and everything, and you had to play outdoors. And the premise of the game, for those unfamiliar of it, one person was the mother, and everybody else was lined away from the mother. And each kid would go, "Mother, may I take some kind of step?" Okay? And the mother would have to reply, "Yeah, you could take that step," or "No, you can't." If she says, "No, you can't do the step," and then you would never get to the mother. The object was get to the mother. Now, it was up to the mother to say yes or no. Now, people who went out there and said, "Mother, I want to take 2 giant steps." Normally, the kid would say, "No, you can't do that because the game will end and it will be no fun. And so you can't take 2 giant steps." Another kid like me, I would come up with some crazy thing called like double twisty forward roll step. Sometimes it would let me do it just because they wanted to see it, but that would be a one-time thing. This is like your fad diet, the double twisty fad diet, right? But then mother would say, "No, you can't do that." Usually what won is a kid that would say, "Mother, may I take one itsy bitsy tiny little step?" And then they would take a little bit bigger, but it was itsy bitsy. Then they would do "Can I take a little bigger?" Then "Can I take 2 medium steps?" And sooner or later, slow and steady wins a race, and they would win. Now, what the heck does all this have to do with wellness? Well, here's the deal. When you are first starting your steps to a wellness journey, you have to say, "Body, may I? Body, may I go on the elliptical the machine? Body, may I lift weights?" Let me tell you my story here. When I first started off, I couldn't walk 100 yards. And I couldn't get on an elliptical machine. I couldn't do anything hardly. I remember walking with my dog Boots, who was also equally large, and we called it the last chance workout. But then we both got stressed out. We ended up having to carry Boots, and I was stressed because we tried too hard, right? The bottom line is this. You got to take your time and ask your body what you could do. So I'm going to tell you what I did. It's so embarrassing. Imagine a 358-pound guy going to water aerobics with a big T-shirt on, size XXX large bathing suit, and you're the only guy with 30 or 40 women. I don't know why guys don't like that. It's a great workout. It's low on your joints. I started with that. Then I moved up to elliptical trainer, and then I moved up to, at the end, I walked 50 miles in one day. So that's the right thing. The next thing, 3, is pack the right provisions. You know, Frodo would not leave on his journey without some provision as he faced Mordor. Okay, I know I'm going to Tolkien too much. And the first thing you got to do is get the right provisions. Clean out all the peanut M&Ms and the Cheetos, and get good nutritional food in your cubby. And last, and this is very, very important, bring a buddy. If you're going to face down tough challenges, you should do it with a buddy or a group. We've talked already that I've been in Weight Watchers, but when I first started, I was in 3 groups. I was in my company fitness group, I was in Weight Watchers, and then my family, my sister-in-law started a fitness group where we all walked across Texas. And I did that too. And that's a good thing. You promote yourself on. And I still, even though I made Lifetime, I still go to the Weight Watchers group every week. It just helps me. In closing, I know we talked about kids' games. And I said, kids don't play games anymore. But I used to watch TV when I was a kid. And I used to watch a Christmas show. My favorite Christmas show was Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And there's a thing where Santa Claus helps the winter warlock get his heart unfrozen. And it's the perfect song for when you're starting. So it's called Walking Out the Door. So let me finish with that. You put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. You put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. You never will get where you're going if you never get up on your feet. Come on, there's a good tailwind blowing, a fast or even slow walking man is hard to beat. So put one foot in front of the other, and then you can change well. Thank you, and look forward to talking to you on the next episode.